chances are if you own a Chrysler, Jeep, or Dodge vehicle, you have run into this. Today I'm going to show you a very simple fix for this very common problem. To start things off, let's just open up the glove compartment and get it out of the way so that we can have access to all the parts. So the clicking that you hear when you turn on the air conditioning or the heat is due to this guy right here. Or so I thought. As you'll see later on in this video, there was a slight hiccup and it wasn't quite as straightforward as I thought. But we'll get to that in a little bit. As you can see here, when we turned on the vehicle and turned on the AC, the wheel would start spinning a little bit and then start the clicking noise. This gave me a pretty good indication that this was the piece that was in fact causing the clicking sound. This is the blend door actuator. This little part is what's responsible for controlling the airflow in the system. So it regulates where and how much air goes through the system. So what I decided to do is buy a replacement part and swap this one out. Well, this is a relatively simple project. The one note that I will make to this is that it is a pretty tight space, so it will be pretty difficult if you have fairly large hands. There's only 3 screws that need to be taken out, but they can be a bit challenging, again just because of the tight squeeze. I just used a wrench with a hex bit, and I was able to get these 3 screws off with a little bit of effort. There's 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom. As you can see, for some of these, I was able to use the wrench to loosen the screw somewhat, and then I had to go in with my hand and turn it the rest of the way. It is a bit challenging, but keep at it and you'll get it. Once I finally pulled off the last screw, then it was time to pull it off. You just grab it, gently pull until it comes off. Pretty simple. The only thing that's left is to unplug the cable, like so. And replace this with the new actuator. Put that in there. Back in. Okay. This may take a little while. We can do the whole thing. Yeah, because this was really that. By now you know what needs to be done here. So after we connect the electrical wire, then we have to put it back in place with the 3 screws. So we'll just fast forward through this. Okay. So at this point, I'm pretty frustrated. Everything that I had seen online told me that this was the issue and it was a pretty simple fix, but it wasn't working. So I decided to take the actuator apart and see what was going on.
These are all intact.
When I took it apart, I was surprised to find out that there was nothing wrong with it.
Something breaking, that's what I thought was wrong with this. But it's not that. So I'm
Now it was time to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out what was going on. After a bit of research, I found out there are actually multiple actuators in the vehicle. So the one on the left-hand side, and if we move over to the right, you'll see right here that there's another one. Now, at least in my vehicle, this is the one that is activated when you push this button. And after doing a little investigation, we found out that this is the one that was actually doing the clicking. Now, I apologize for the shakiness of this video. This was taken with my cell phone. It is a very tight squeeze, and so the best way that I found to get a video of that was to use my cell phone and put it in there. There really isn't a whole lot of room in there, and so we even had a hard time seeing what kind of screw was in there. So we had to use my cell phone to find out that in this one, they were attached with Phillips screws.
Phillips.
There was just enough room for us to be able to take one of the screws off with a small screwdriver. But for the other two, we needed to find something else. The easiest way that we found to do this is to go up from the bottom. So underneath the glove compartment, at least in our vehicle, the Jeep Patriot, you can pull down this flap, and then you can go up from there. The only way that we were able to do this was by using our right angle flex shaft, as you see here attached to our drill. I have a link in the description for this product. It was a lifesaver. I don't know how we would have done it without it. This allows you to reach the screw and to take the screws off, all while using a drill. There were also two of us working here. My son helped me hold the tip of the shaft into the screw while I operated the drill. So having an extra pair of hands for this particular job is pretty helpful. And here you see a side-to-side comparison, the old actuator and the new one. I have a link in the description below if you would like to purchase one of these. It's compatible with Jeep, Chrysler, and Dodge vehicles. So once again, this is a relatively simple fix. The most challenging part is just the tight spaces that you're working with. Once you do have it in there, you want to make sure that you plug in the electrical cord, and you should be ready to test.
Alright, try it again. Hooked up again.
Okay.
I don't turn the AC open. Here we go.
Just turn it on?
Yep. Click is gone. Love it.